I would vote for Bernie Sanders, hypothetically. But I ain't going to live a lie. I ain't going to lie to you. And when Bernie Sanders tells a lie, I'm not going to accept that lie and say, like, okay, now I'm going to live this lie. I made up my mind on that a long time ago. When I was a Buddhist, when I was a part of the Buddhist faith, I didn't live a lie. I'm not going to pretend that ghosts and demons exist, or that when other people see ghosts and demons that they're not hallucinating. No. I'm not going to lie about scientific research on meditation. I'm not going to lie about what it says about slavery in the ancient religious text. I ain't living a lie. And today, still a little bit involved with veganism as a political movement. I don't lie about that either, okay? So I would vote for Bernie Sanders, hypothetically, not living a lie. Why is it today that both Bernie Sanders and Andrew Yang lie about Amazon and Amazon paying corporate taxes? When I first thought about putting a video together on this, I first started doing the research, I was like, oh, well, it must be that the mainstream media really failed to address this misconception about Amazon's taxes. I start Googling around Wall Street Journal, NBC, Forbes magazine, Bloomberg. Seemingly every major economic and news organization in the world already has debunked the propaganda claim made by Bernie Sanders about Amazon. And I Google it, Bernie Sanders is still telling the same lie. I did a search for Bernie Sanders Amazon taxes, and then I limited the results to this month. Times he's used this lie within the last 30 days. He's still saying it. He's still out there propounding it. Quote, Amazon's less than zero tax rate is unacceptable. America needs to see Amazon's tax returns. Okay, and Andrew Yang, as you know, he has been making use of the same false claims about Amazon's tax returns in his proposals to switch to a VAT, a value-added tax-based system, to fund his crazy idea of giving every man, woman, and child $1,000 a month. And he claims he's not a libertarian. He's not a libertarian. Okay, let's break it down real quick. I'll give you a link below this video to an article from Accounting Today. Accounting Today, not a publication I normally read, but a little bit more objective approach than you got from Forbes magazine or Bloomberg or even NBC, in my opinion. They point out, first and foremost, when the federal government taxes a corporation, it is not on the basis of their revenue. It is on the basis of their profit. So $232 billion in revenue. Sounds like a lot. $232 billion in 1 year. That's the revenue. However, how much is the profit? $9.4 billion. Now, if you present either one of those numbers in isolation, it just sounds like a lot of money. But guys, the thought exercise here is not that hard. Let me walk you through this. Let's say you're 10 years old and you get together with some friends and you decide you're going to rake the leaves for all the elderly people in the neighborhood. You're going to go around and clear up their gardens and rake the leaves. And this house pays $20 and this house pays $20. Maybe one has a smaller yard and they pay $10. And all the money comes together. And you do this. You have a long day's work doing yard work. Say, hey, great news. The total amount of revenue, total amount of money we made was $232. But I got bad news. Do you know how much profit we made? Only $9. Only $9.40. Think about how disappointed you'd be. Whoa, gee, we had all these costs. We had all these expenses. We only get to keep. We only made $9 in profit out of $230. Okay, so these numbers, they're big, but it's not that mystifying. $232 billion in revenue, but only $9.4 billion in profit. It's a pretty dramatic difference, okay? Now, what many of the articles emphasize, not the Accounting Today article, is that there's also a huge amount of money being paid in payroll taxes by Amazon. So we're not here talking about the employees paying income tax. That's even more money. But the taxes that are paid state level and payroll taxes by the company, that is apparently over $1 billion a year. So there are some taxes that Amazon is paying that adds up to a lot of money. Okay, but more fundamentally, why is it that Amazon is paying zero in the special category of federal corporate tax? Why is that a zero number? It's because they're doing exactly what the U.S. government wants to incentivize them to do. Okay? For a long time, there's been a critique of capitalism within the United States that companies do not put enough money into research and development, companies do not put enough money into job training, and companies do not put enough money into productivity increasing capital investments like robots, like replacing human beings with robots. So one way or another, because that's what the U.S. government wants to encourage companies to do, they give you tax breaks when you run your business in the kind of way that the federal government is encouraging. So guess what? Amazon spends a huge amount of money on research and development. Okay? So that is $419 million US dollars in tax breaks. Okay? They earned it. They earned it. The U.S. government held up a hoop and said, hey, if you jump through this hoop, if you run your business the way we want you to, we're going to give you $419 million in tax breaks. Because we, the democratically elected government, we believe it's in everyone's benefit in society if you put this money into research and development that ultimately, indirectly, won't just make your company more competitive, it actually benefits society as a whole. You're actually doing the sort of job that otherwise universities have to do, or the government has to pay for research, research and development to do what's normally called fundamental research, whatever. Okay, this is a good thing that benefits everyone directly. So you get a tax break. Okay, I know a lot of the time there are local laws. It's a general crisis of having no upward mobility, but a lot of the time you also see tax breaks and tax write-offs for doing job training, so that people can go from being unskilled workers to more highly skilled workers. Why is that? Again, it's because if the company doesn't provide job training, then that would have to happen at a university. There'd be other costs for society. So yeah, Amazon is playing the game by the rules set down by the U.S. government. Yes, they are getting a deduction for stock-based compensation, which basically means giving people bonuses in the form of stock rather than cash. That saves them $1.1 billion. They didn't invent the rule. Why does that rule exist? Why does the U.S. government think it's advantageous to give bonuses in stock rather than... I don't know. But again, the government held up this loop. Amazon jumped through it fair and square. They're not cheating. All right? So, if you support Bernie Sanders, you probably support Bernie Sanders because he promises you a better future. He promises you a future with lower cost of tuition, with higher quality of healthcare. He's promising you a future that's committed to dramatically reducing military spending and dramatically increasing the spending on, things that will possibly or hopefully improve the quality of life for Americans, right? That's what you're signing up for, okay? Don't live a lie. When people lie to you, when people expect you to participate in repeating these lies, which I hear on left-wing news services, I hear this from the Young Turks day after day after day, again and again, this lie about Amazon. I heard it from Andrew Yang at the Democrat presidential primary debates. He's saying this on the news, he's saying this in interviews again and again and again. If you're promising people a better future, you have to learn how to make that promise and how to propel that promise without having it rest on a lie.